blessings of all the acharyas, all the sadhus who have studied and applied these shastras in their lives, Bhagavad Gita in their lives. So we are trying to just follow their footprints. That's why we take their blessings. Yeah, we have been taking blessings from all our elders, from our grandparents, our parents. You know, although I mean we just take their blessings. Um, I don't know whether they could really implement some spiritual practices in their life, or they could do something, with what is there in the scriptures. But even then, we take their blessings. Here we are learning a very important aspect for our spiritual progress from Bhagavad Gita. So it's very important to take their blessings. When we take their blessings, when we try to step onto their footprints, we may able to we may be able to understand something. Otherwise, it's Bhagavad Gita's wisdom is very complicated. It's not so easy to digest with our complex and you know with our or I should say contaminated mind, because there are so many thoughts in our mind going on. There is no purity. That's why it's so hard to understand the meaning of Bhagavad Gita's verses. Okay, which verse were we discussing last week? 2 point
2.14.
2.14, and we have gone further also. We have discussed 2.15, we have discussed 2.16 also, I believe. Am I right? 2.17 also?
Yeah, we did
Yes,
before, but then we came back to 2.14
correct.
as well.
Yeah. You know why we are going back and forth on these verses? The reason? Because this is the base, the platform Krishna is setting up. So if all of you, I don't want to speak too much today. I want you all to speak and tell me if you have understood from the verses 2.7 to 2.14. If you all have understood these 7 verses, inclusive 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, both inclusive 8 verses. If you have understood this very clearly and are convinced of what Krishna is saying, only then it will be advisable to move forward. If you're not convinced, if you have not understood these verses, I can't build the first floor because the ground floor is not stable enough. We can't build the first floor. So can you explain from 2.7 to 2.14? Crystal clear words with convincing statements. Yes, Kalpesh.
Prabhuji, I'll give a quick highlight of what I have understood so far and what I'm convinced with, and what I'm still trying to relate to.
So can we go
Is that
verse
okay?
by verse instead of the gist? Otherwise we lose track.
Okay.
Yes. So if we can go verse by verse, then we will be on track. Before that, do you want me to address Randhir's question? Because he had a question from chapter 2, which he
Okay.
wanted to ask yesterday. You want to speak,
Yes, sir.
ask now, Randhir? Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
We had a question where I think what it was brought up in 1.7, I guess, where he said is these people are ready to die for you, right?
Yes. Yes.
And I
These
just
people
got
are the
confused.
Tyakta Jivitaha. So the meaning of the word Tyakta Jivita was that these are the warriors who are
Yes,
ready to lay their lives for me.
right. But sir, again, in I think in 2.11, Or in 2.12, isn't that Lord Sri Krishna turning around and explaining that, okay, these people were never, why are you mourning over these people? Because they're basically dead. So, do you get it?
No, I
He's
don't get
trying
your
to, I
question.
mean, okay, on one side, is it Duryodhan who's turning around and saying, is these people are, who are willing to die for me, right? And on the other side, Lord Shri Krishna is also explaining to um, to Arjun in this case that why are you lamenting over these people, because they are dead in the first place. So, sir, is doesn't it mean? I mean, the way I read it is, isn't Duryodhan in some way or shape getting access to the same information that Lord Krishna is giving Arjun? He may be boasting, he may be boasting, but I mean, he's basically saying the same thing that what Lord Krishna is telling Arjun. I mean, in a weird, corrupted way.
What is Duryodhan saying in 1.7?
Duryodhan is, sorry, isn't he that when he's saying is, these people are willing to die for me, right?
Can you
Tatya.
Yakta Jivitaha? Okay. Is it 1.7? Can someone confirm?
Okay, I apologize.
No, no, no. No need to apologize. That's okay. I'm just asking whether it is 1.7. I'm not sure. Is it 1.7, 1.8? Yakta Jivitaha, the word.
1.9.
1.9.
1.9,
Okay.
sir.
Okay. So if you can read the verse for me, please, and the translation, that would be great.
Anye cha bahava sura madharte takta jivita nanasastra praharana praharana sarve yudha Visaradha. I'm sorry, I
That's okay.
apologize about
No,
my
no, no. Don't
my
worry. That's fine. That's fine. You're trying. That's good.
translation, sir, is there are many other heroes who are prepared to lay down their lives for my sake. Many of all of them are well prepared, all of them are well equipped with different kinds of weapons, and all are experienced in military science. So
Okay. What is the other verse you are
I'm
trying to
I'm just looking
compare
at the
that with?
okay, sir. This is the purport, and this is what's driving me nuts. Is as far as all the others are concerned, like Jayadratha, uh, Salia, I can understand, and it says Kritavarma, all are determined to lay down their lives for the Duryodhan snake. In other words, it is already concluded that all of them would die in the battle of Kurukshetra for joining the party of the sinful Duryodhana. Duryodhana was, of course, confident of his victory on account of the above mentioned combined strength of his friends. Okay, so here isn't isn't in this case this quite similar to the 2 point I think 2.11, when there is a lamentation by Arjun. He says, okay, let the supreme godhead said, while speaking learned words, you are mourning for what is not worthy of grief. Those who are wise lament nothing, lament neither for the living nor the dead. Now, in this case, is that's the time when he actually calls him a fool, right? But isn't he trying to explain to him that, how can I put it across? Isn't he trying to explain to him that these people are already dead? So why are you lamenting for them? Duryodhan, on the other side, has already made a statement that these people are fighting for me even while they're dead. They're willing to accept the point that they're dead. So Duryodhan has a point
No,
that
Duryodhan
his
is not
his
saying
soldiers
that.
are dead.
Duryodhan's
Sorry.
intention of saying that is that he's
Uh-huh.
saying, I have such warriors who are ready to give up their lives for me. So I am, he's showing his strength.
Right.
That is his
But sir,
intention.
doesn't Shri Krishna? doesn't run Sri Krishna, he's basically using Duryodhan's, he's trying to use the same example, and he's saying is don't lament over these people. Duryodhan's talking from a position of strength, from ego, but Sri Krishna is basically saying is okay. Why? I mean, he's talking about it from the other side of you. He's talking about it as in how should I explain it? Is
Okay, I'll make it
he's
very
saying is
clear
the
for
body is
you.
already dead.
I'll make it
Sorry.
clear for, I'll just make the statement very clear for you, all of you.
Hmm.
Okay, what you're trying to say is, are these statements similar?
Yes.
So
Yes.
Duryodhana is saying that these are the warriors who are ready to give up their lives for me. Sri
Hmm.
Krishna, your verse which you are referring to, I think is 2.12, not 2.11.
Uh-huh.
The verse which Krishna is speaking about is Natvevaham jatu nasam, Natvam neme janadipaha, Nacheva namavishyama, Sarve vayamataha param. So he says that never was there a time when I did not exist, nor you, nor all these kings, nor in the future shall any of us cease to be. So what he's saying that there was never a time these people were not there, and there will be never a time these people will not be there in the future. So they're always there. Soul never dies. Whereas Duryodhan is saying that these people are ready to give up their lives for me. Am I right? Are they the right comparison?
Yes, sir. So I
Or
guess
is
his
it the
Duryodhana is just
2.11
talking about.
where he says, where Krishna is saying that do not lament over the living or the dead, do not worry about anything. So which one are you
Right,
trying to
right.
compare? So the two different things which Krishna is saying. 2.11 is
Okay, okay,
different,
okay.
2.12 is different.
Okay, I think is I was wrong because I was trying to look as a comparison of a living body, right?
Mhm,
But in
mhm,
reality, what Krishna is explaining is 2.12, where the soul which is individual and eternal, right?
mhm.
That's what he's trying. Okay, okay. I'm sorry, I was confused there.
That's okay. That's okay. Yeah. So did anyone understand his question, or do you want to go back to chapter 2 verses?
I did not understand the connection between.
Okay, so it was basically he was analyzing 1.7 and 2.11 and 2.12, which he has clarified now. So I will come back to 2.7 now, where we started our discussion from. From 2.7 to 2.14, can you all please explain me what is going on in Bhagavad Gita? Starting with Aditi, 2.7.
So 2.7 here, after whatever Arjun was, in chapter 1, when he was struggling with so many things, whether to fight or not to fight, when he was actually confused. Uh, Later on, 2.7, what I understand is now he surrenders to Lord Krishna, and he's like, now I am your disciple, so now I will do as you tell me and instruct me. So he has given, he surrendered to Krishna to help him and guide him further.
Mhm.
This is what I understand from 2.7.
Okay, why is he surrendering? What is the reason of his surrender?
um I don't know.
It's in the same verse,
Mm,
2.7. First word of 2.7 is your answer. Why is he surrendering?
because he's confused.
Very nice. Good. Karpanya doshu. Who is the Kripana? Who is the Kripana?
Sorry.
Kripana. Who is the Kripana? Karpanya doshu. Karpan comes from the word Kripana.
Weak. No,
Yes.
weak.
Weak. Yes.
So Arjun is weak at this
Miserly or
point.
weak is Kripana. And who is a Brahman? Kripana is the opposite of Kripan, is Brahman.
Okay.
So Kripan is a person who only looks at short-term goals, short-term benefits. He's weak. He can't. He's not far-sighted. So Arjun is saying that I am weak in the sense I'm not able to perceive things properly. Karpanya dosho pahatasvabhava. I'm not able to perceive, I'm not able to understand things clearly. I'm confused. Please guide me. I'm a soul surrendered onto you. I'm your disciple. Prachami tvam dharma sammuda cheta. Yacha shreyasyam shishyas. Shishya, I'm your shishya. Yacha shreyasyam shishyatam bruhi tanme. Shishyasteham sadhimam tvam prapannam. He said, I am your disciple now. Please guide me. I'm not able to perceive. I'm not able to understand. This is how this whole thing started. Okay. This is where Krishna is the platform for Krishna to speak is getting ready. So what is Krishna showing here, or this conversation is showing here, that until someone really seeks advice from you, please do not advise,
Wow. Wow.
because the Lord himself, Lord Shri Krishna himself is following that protocol. Do not advise. It is our nature to advise, which is not correct. It is not the right process of living. Do not advise. Okay? Until someone has faith in you, full faith in you, and then he comes to you, he surrenders to you, and he tells you, no, I do not have any other solution. You are the one who can help me. Please advise me. Only then you should advise. How many times in a day do we advise to people? Multiple times, right? You should do this. You should do this. Okay, you try this. You should do that. You should do this. And they come up with a situation and we start advising. Do not advise. Very dangerous. Very dangerous. Okay, be careful. Yeah? Diligence. Diligent talking. Very important. 2.8. This is the understanding of 2.7. Multiple things. 2.8. Shitij.
Mm, in 2.8, what I understand is Arjuna is saying that after I surrender to you, I'm not able, my senses are drying up, is what I understand. And
After he surrenders to Krishna, the senses are drying up.
yeah, yeah. And most important word is nahi prapashyami. Mama prapashyami is one important word I see. And apanudyat, that is, his senses are drying away because of shokam or lamentation. That's one part I understand out of 2.8.
Okay. Anyone who has understood this a little more deeper? 2.8.
Sir, if
Prabhuji,
I
we had
may.
yeah.
Yes. Who wants to
Tarandir, go
speak?
ahead.
No, go ahead, please.
Okay, I think one point that we discussed here is um, the change in the mood of Arjun. So we had gone back to 1.35, where Arjun was in the mood of refuting why I should not do. These are the reasons. And here it is changed to more of a seeker, where he's saying, I don't know, guide me.
Correct. So it is 2.7. He starts seeking. Okay. 2.8. What is the understanding?
In 2.8, what Arjun is saying is that even if he wins the war, he will not have his family to enjoy. So he's seeking. He will, he doesn't see a reason to actually kill his own kinsmen, because then he will have nobody after that, after killing them, to enjoy the wealth or the time or whatever he gets out of the war.
Mhm.
Plus
Okay.
he's also uh, plus also his senses are like, he's not able to, uh, basically he has got a mental block.
Mhm.
And he basically, and another reason he's giving that I just
Okay.
said before
Mental
is that
block. Very good word. Why is there that mental block?
because of his what he's seeing, his relatives right in front of him ready to fight a war and kill him, and even ready to kill him in the war. So he's probably a bit dejected by a whole situation.
Okay. That's okay. So where is the effect? Where is the bodily effect? Where is he
Eyes,
affected? Huh?
eyes,
And he's not affected in the eyes. Eyes were the
the
senses in
senses.
contact. He
Yes.
saw
So,
that.
yep.
What is his affected? What is affected at the moment
Oh,
in
His Indriya,
2.8?
Indriyanam is the word. He's
Hmm?
talking about all the senses.
In 2.8,
Yeah,
okay. So what
senses are
what is
drying up.
drying up?
yeah.
What dries up?
Shok,
No, no.
Throat
What dries
to
up in your
choke.
body? Yes. Your throat, your mouth,
throat.
right? That dries up, right?
Yeah.
When does it dry up?
When we are nervous,
Nervous, when you're
anxious.
Nervous or
choked.
anxious, choking,
Yeah.
Yeah, we're
Mm.
choking, we're
crying.
we're
Yeah.
yeah, we're and where is it sourced from? Where is the effect of, I mean, where is the source from which these this chokeness starts? Where is this being sourced from?
The
Mind,
mind,
Okay, which Kalpesh said mental block, mind. How is the mind affected?
by senses.
Okay,
But by seeing and by
okay. So we discussed different layers, if you
thinking.
remember, of our existence. How many dimensions do we have of our existence? So,
we know
in
everything.
general, if you see, there are two dimensions, spiritual and
Material.
material. Yeah.
Hmm.
Now, in material, we have further two dimensions. Did we discuss this?
Yes, external Shakti.
No, 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 no.
No, that is
Gross
2.8.
body.
With respect
no.
to 2.8. So within the material dimension, we have further dimensions, which is physical and emotional.
Mhm.
Did we discuss this?
I don't
We
think
did.
so. I don't know.
Okay. So I remember we discussed this, but anyways, if you have not recorded, that's fine. So basically, there are three dimensions altogether: physical, emotional, and spiritual, logical dimensions. I'll give you a simple example, real time, how these are affected. So, for instance, you are sitting in your college. Think about the times when you were in college. You're sitting in the canteen, you know, flamboyant, with your friends, enjoying, ordering your favorite snack, or whatever Indian snack, dahi puri, sev puri, or whatever we used to eat. You're ordering that, and it's just about to be delivered on your table, enjoying with your friends, very happy. And there is nice view. You are sitting near a seaside or something, wonderful view. And you are just about to enjoy your snack, right? It's about to get into your mouth. It's delivered, it's going to your mouth. And at that moment, someone from the college comes and tells you that you have failed in your final exam and you have to literally reappear your whole year. Environment is the same. We have a nice background music. So the environment is the same. The food is the same. People are the same. But are you happy anymore? Yes or no?
No,
Is that really exciting you, that whole thing anymore?
no,
Why?
because now I'm in a state of shock,
Right?
and
You are disturbed
yeah,
emotionally. So the dimension of emotions is the most delicate and the most critical one in our lives. You may be hearing some news recently about the deaths of these youngsters in Bollywood. Yeah, there are 30s, 40s, they're dying out of heart attack, stress, death, suddenly death. Why? What do you think is the reason? Are they physically weak? They're not. They're
Yes,
physically
sir.
very strong. They're physically
No,
quite
sir.
strong.
Steroids.
Emotionally weak. Yeah.
They're emotionally weak. If you look carefully, if you analyze properly, you're emotionally weak. Emotionally very weak. So, what is important in our life? Being physically strong and materially wealthy, or emotionally strong and mentally healthy? What's
Second one
important?
is more important.
But do we think about it? We don't.
No.
We don't. This verse just says that. It says that we have an emotional level, which is the most crucial, most critical level, most critical dimension in our body is the emotional layer. So generally, if you think of physical satisfaction, you have, we say roti kapda or makan. Yeah, you need food, shelter, and clothing, and you're happy. But at the emotional level, things can get intense. Even if you have all the facilities, if the emotional level is disturbed, these things will not satisfy you. So Arjun says, I'm tormented at emotional level, and physical comforts will not help me. This is what he's saying in this verse. If you read it carefully now, can you read it again? Someone? Translation.
I can find no means to drive away this grief, which is drying up my senses. I will not be able to dispel it, even if I win a prosperous, unrivaled kingdom on earth with sovereignty like the demigods in heaven.
Do you understand this? Does it relate to the statement which I just said? Yes.
Mm.
So
Yeah.
what dimensions is Arjun talking about? He's talking about two dimensions here: physical and
Emotional and
emotional.
spiritual. Yeah.
This is 2.8. All
So,
verses are
sir,
not the same. Don't think that the whole Bhagavad Gita is all same. Every verse is different. Every word is different. There's a different meaning and a different uh, purport altogether. They're all different. Don't just accumulate everything and this is what it means. No, everything is different. So this is 2.8. So now, yes, Randir.
so, sir, I'm sorry. Since we're talking about the different dimensions,
Yeah.
the Kauravas had a different reason for fighting the battle of Kurukshetra as compared to the Pandavas, right? The Kauravas, for them, it's not physical because they already own that place. Am I right?
You tell me,
So for them, it will be more of emotional, correct, sir?
do they already own that place?
Wasn't Kurukshetra sort of a holy place? Which was it owned by them or not?
I don't know. You tell me.
Sir, I remember you mentioning something about Dhritarashtra saying that it was a holy place, and that's why he was. I don't know. I may be wrong about it,
Okay.
but
I I think there is not enough reading of Bhagavad Gita.
right, sir.
Yeah.
I apologize.
The background is lacking. So when you read and understand, you're talking about the first verse of Bhagavad Gita, which is Dharmashetre Kurukshetre, Samaveta
Right,
Yuyotsava, that what was the question of Dhritarashtra? That on this Dharmashetra, what are they doing? Desiring to fight. So,
right.
so Kurukshetra was a part of the whole Kuru dynasty, was a part of the whole Kuru kingdom, but Kuru kingdom
Right.
was not belonging to Dhritarashtra at all. He was just a caretaker king.
Okay.
Because Pandu was dead, there was no one else to sit on the throne. That is why Dhritarashtra was sitting. And the reason of
Okay.
this Mahabharat fight was because Yudhishthir was the eldest and he was supposed to be the crown prince. But Duryodhan, with his own logic, was trying to defend that he should be the crown prince.
Okay. Defense. All right.
Okay,
Okay.
all right. Clarified?
Yes, I was under the impression that they were, not allowed to have those 5 villages, right? So they're trying to defend themselves. Instead, it's a
Why were
battle
they
for
not
the
allowed to
entire
have the
kingdom.
5 villages?
Sorry, sir?
Why were they not allowed to have the 5 villages?
Because it was Shri Krishna who went ahead and had that conversation. It wasn't
Why
Yudhishthir
did Sri Krishna had that conversation?
to prevent a war.
Why did he want to prevent the war?
Okay, you're just giving my head.
Sorry. So these are the questions. Once you go till 5 whys, you will get all the answers. or 8 whys is the best? So once you start asking these questions, go back. It's called reverse engineering. So when you go reverse and ask yourself why, you will get your source where it's coming from, and you'll get your answers. So basically, this kingdom belonged to Pandu. Pandu was the king of Hastinapur.
Mm-hmm.
His eldest son Yudhishthir was the crowned prince already. He was
Mm-hmm.
the crown prince. So after Pandu's death, because Yudhishthir was not an adult, a grown up, he was just a crown prince, not ready to become an emperor. Dhritarashtra was the caretaker king.
Okay. So he was the caretaker.
Okay.
I didn't understand that. I just thought that he was the caretaker because Pandu went away and these were his kids.
Yes, that is right.
Okay. It's a different
So
thing again.
Pandu went away to the forest. He took a break, an annual leave. So the
Okay.
stopgap arrangement was the caretaker king Dhritarashtra. But it so happened that during the annual leave, Pandu died. So now it was
Okay.
no one but the caretaker king who was just continuing his job until the
Right.
crowned prince is ready to become the emperor.
Okay.
Okay. Is everyone clear with the background now?
Right. It's like that story, The Prince and the Pauper, right, sir?
I'm not sure about that. I can only talk about
Okay.
Mahabharata. Yeah.
No. It's the
Yeah.
same. It's similar, that he is
Because
more or less the same structure.
as per the Shastra, Mahabharata is a history. I don't know the
I
stories.
apologize. I
Yeah.
apologize.
So this is a history. This is not story.
Right. Right. Right.
Sir, we have lost you, your voice. We can't hear you.
Yes.
I think the Bluetooth connection is a problem here.
Okay. Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Good. So 2.8 says there are 3 dimensions: material, emotional, and spiritual. So when we have emotional issues, the physical comforts cannot help. What is the way out? So in the first chapter, Arjun has only talked about material problems. So if we are connected emotionally to material aspects, then we will have problems for sure. That's the understanding of 2.8. So where should the emotions be attached to? Emotions, when they come to us, if we are attached to material aspects of life, emotions, if they are connected to material aspects, we will have problems. That's what Arjun is having problems with. So what is Krishna trying to do after this?
Trying to get Arjun to disconnect from the material part and connect to the spiritual part.
What is getting disconnected?
Emotions.
Exactly. So emotions, when they are connected to material problems, we have problems. They cannot be solved. But emotions, when they are connected to spiritual aspects, we are elevated. Do you understand this? Do you understand this? Okay. Emotions. Give me an example of an emotion. Aditi. She has not spoken for a while. Or Kshitij. He has also not spoken for a while.
Yeah, the best example would be in any human being's life when somebody passes away.
Okay.
The,
What is that emotion?
the person grieves or basically is
Yeah. So
entangled
he's in grief. He's sad.
sorrow. Yeah,
He's
he's sad
sorrow.
and sorrow. So that's all.
Okay.
Those are the emotions they any human being displays. But if we
Not
have,
necessarily any human being. I'm talking about one emotion, which is grief. Okay. So grief or sadness is where it is located.
it's in the mind,
Okay, inside us, right? Outside you
inside.
may be
Yeah,
crying, but
yeah.
inside you are grief stricken or you are
Right.
sad. Yes.
Hmm. Yeah.
Now, if I ask you a question, why are you sad of that person being dead? I just throw this question to everyone.
Could be any reason. The person we lost could be a good friend or a
Okay,
closely related
okay, that's
person.
okay. That's all right. That reason why you are crying, why your emotions are so effective on your own self, is the reason material?
Yeah,
No,
that's right.
Yes.
Okay, okay,
Yeah.
yes or no? Who says yes? Who says no?
I say no.
Okay, how is it not material and how is it material? I would like to know both. First, how is it not material? I would like to know from Aditi.
Not, this is what I understand, not material in the sense ki I have nothing to gain from that person or anything of that sort, like we heard about, like, the celebrity dying or, any actor dying. It is just the emotion that comes up because when we hear anybody dying or, anything for that matter, not only dying, if anybody is in any trouble or anything, this is for me. I feel upset and very sad for everyone, who is suffering. That is what I feel. But
Okay,
there is nothing.
suffering is different. Okay, we will go to the
Yeah.
suffering later. So we don't know whether he suffered or no, but he's dead now.
Yeah. There's nothing that I am going to get out of it, nothing material, but it is just the emotions that come up. So that I don't think so. There is,
Have you thought why are these emotions coming?
uh, no, no, not actually.
Okay, okay,
Why are they coming up? It is just that, when you hear
Compassion,
or,
yeah,
yeah, maybe compassion. I don't know. Yeah. But
compassion.
then
Okay, okay,
compassion,
compassion,
empathy for another
empathy,
empathy
life.
for someone.
Sympathy, empathy. Yeah.
sympathy. Yeah.
But you don't know that person, right? Say, for example, you know someone.
Yeah, I don't know that person. Absolutely no. But I have, when I heard this, like 2 days back, when I heard that actor died, so that Shukla died. So I was very upset for 2 days, and I actually came home from work and I cried and I cried. I don't know why, but I did cry. There was no connection. I never knew him personally. I don't know anything about him. I just know that, yeah, this is a TV, yeah, hai, bas, that's all. But I was actually very upset with, everything. But I don't know why I cried or, why it came up. And
This
there
is
was no
this is
attachment,
this is
nothing.
another problem. Most of us, not just you, most of us have the same problem. We do things, but we don't know why we are doing them.
Yeah,
Sometimes automatic happens, but we don't know why.
yeah.
Very nice, Aditi. Thank you for sharing that. Okay, material. Who answered material? So she's not sure basically. What Aditi is
I'm not
answering
sure.
that she's not sure whether it is material or what, but it's automatic. She doesn't know why, but she cried. Okay.
Yeah.
Yes, Randir. Material.
So I believe the response might be more material in this case is especially when it comes to close family. It is an attachment to the physical body.
Hmm.
The
Hmm.
thing is, it is the thing that we the brain is not able to reconcile. We say is okay. We're not looking at the soul. we are looking at the physical body and we are saying is I will not get a chance to talk to this person. I will not get a chance. So it's all about me, 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 me. And at the
Mm,
same time, it's the material aspect of it. Someone you can touch, someone who you can actually talk to. So when
mm,
that person passes away, right? That's what I see it. It's a physical connection.
body,
So
absolutely. Very nice. Yeah.
and then, sir, my way of looking at it is when someone dies, sir, they don't really care. Whether you give them a 21 gun salute or whether you give them a salute like that. It is us who grieve over it,
Mm, true.
right? Whether 100 people come to my funeral or whether I'm just put into the crematorium in a
Mm,
in a municipal thing. When I'm dead, my soul doesn't care about what's happened.
yeah.
It is the people around who want to feel good about it.
Yeah. So it's
And
bodily
just
concept.
answering
Yes.
Right. And just answering Aditi's concept is I don't know. I might be a sociopath. Right. I watch Big Boss. I'm sorry. I do. But the question is Siddharth Shukla went to Xavier's, my school. Right. He was a couple of he was around 3 4 batches behind me. He was a year after my brother. Despite that, maybe I'm a sociopath. But sir, the way I see it is okay, actor hai, he's getting paid to do that. But that being said, I have no emotional investment into it.
Mm,
Matlab, he is not family. I have no connection with him. If someone dies on the street, yes, I will go there. I will feel bad for him. But that being said, I will say feel same bad for for Shukla too. Bura hua because I'm a human being. He's a human being. That's basic empathy, not sympathy. Empathy. I might have sympathy for his family, but other than that, again, I don't have a material connection to him.
yeah.
So I don't know
So,
if that makes me a
so
bad
I
person.
understand. I see where what your answer is like, because we are materially or bodily concept of life is what is in our mind. That's the reason we feel bad. It's completely material. Good. Yeah. Okay. Anyone else? Shitij or Rishi or Kalpesh? I can't see Shitij. I don't know why this camera is not working. Maybe.
Prabhuji, I want to share
Mm,
something.
I'm
Yes.
there.
Kalpesh.
I
Yeah.
think this is last week or a week before. After our class, I happened to speak with one of my friend. He started talking about what's happening in Afghanistan and all. And I told him, yeah, what's the point of you and I be discussing this? It's a waste of time. Let's talk something different.
Mm,
Okay. मैं कुछ नहीं कर पा रहा उसके बारे में. And
mm,
I told him, like, you also don't worry about all these things.
mm,
It just occupies you for nothing.
mm,
And what you gain out of is that you can't do anything as grief. So, and I told him I don't watch news because of that. I don't know. I mean, I have a very good TV in my home, but I never watch news. Only these days I watch for COVID because I'm trying to track when is my Independence Day.
mm,
Uh, in terms of like that example of the Shukla died at a very young age. It's nothing in for me there actually.
okay.
No
So,
emotions,
so you
physical.
think
Oh
it
yeah.
is, if you're feeling anything for someone who's a close relative of yours, forget that TV or Bollywood person at the moment, someone who's died, who's maybe you know that person, will there be emotions? Will those
If it's
emotions, yeah, close
if
relative,
it's close
will
relative, probably yes.
will they be material or will they be spiritual? That is the question.
I'm not sure.
Okay, you're not sure. That's fine. Ish-
Prabhuji, I think it's not a black and white answer,
Very
according
good.
to me.
Mm,
It is both aspects.
mm,
Like everyone will feel differently about different situations, so
mm,
we cannot
mm,
put a formula.
mm,
I think it is material definitely when you are connected with somebody. So like Randir said, I can't talk to this person again. Yes,
mm,
that is a clearly material aspect. But
mm,
maybe you had a very spiritual connection with the person. You
mm.
can't quantify in material terms. You can't quantify in emotional terms. So I think it is both.
Okay. Kshitij, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, sorry, I think there was some problem on
That's
my
okay.
side.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is an interesting thing, where if we know a person who is very closely related to us and he dies, definitely there is a material attachment where we feel the person who was helping us in some or the other way or even if he's criticizing, we have someone who's criticizing but we lose that person, we will definitely have emotional attachment in some or the other way for them, for that person. But in case of, so this, I would say the first part is definitely a material attachment is there towards people, even if we heard anybody dying. Second part which I feel is after reading the verse 2.12, which is more around giving the knowledge of the soul, which was existing in the past, is existing in the present, and will exist in the future. That actually gives a different thought process altogether to this point, from my perspective. And from spiritual point of view, no matter which soul dies, we definitely say, "May the soul rest in peace," or "He attain the Supreme Lord." Whether heal or attain or not is a different question altogether. But of course, we will have that kind of feeling, at least from my point of view.
Okay, so you're not sure. In very simple terms, I was talking about the emotions. Sadness or grief is one emotion. There are other emotions also.
Yes,
What
I
are the other
wanted to.
emotions?
I wanted to actually touch on that a little bit. I said this is very morbid, talking about
Yeah,
death and all this.
yeah,
But
correct.
what about ecstasy?
Yes.
What
So,
about
what about?
I mean, that happiness is completely emotional because it can take you on such a high and we'll go
Yeah,
uncontrolled.
yeah. Now, to understand this very simply, that your emotions towards someone are
Prabhuji, we have lost you again. Your voice.
Yeah, voice is coming and going. I think it is going on mute
okay. Can you hear
automatically.
me?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So,
Can't hear you.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay. Are you okay now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
No.
No, you're gone, Prabhu.
I will touch this. Okay. Able to hear me?
Yeah.
Okay.
Mhm.
So when we are trying to identify whether my emotion is material or not, you need to ask yourself, why am I emotional towards that particular event, person, or thing? In a relationship, I'll give you a simple example. A relationship, is this emotion in a relationship, is it material or if it is spiritual? You'll come to know straight away that if you want something from someone in a relationship, anything material, it can also be the satisfaction of your own body. If that is the reason your emotions are for some other person or a thing or an event, it is purely material. Did you understand this? You want some profit, you want some satisfaction physically, you want something to be you want something in return. A material return is something which you want. If that is the case for any emotion which you have, that is purely material. I'll give you an example. When you work for a company, when you work for someone or you do business, you're expecting money, some material benefits out of it. If you do not get that, the anger emotion which you get, the frustration emotion which you get is purely material. But if you think about someone who's hungry and you cannot see his hunger, and you out of your own money buy food or prepare your own food and feed that person without expecting anything in return, that is purely spiritual and it will give you more satisfaction. So when you're doing something for someone, without expecting any returns, that is called spiritual, or it is also called as service. So emotions, when you're emotional, which part do you connect with? Where do these emotions connect? That determines the propensity and the reaction of that emotion. The emotions, when connected to material returns, connected to material aspects, they take you down. And that's where there is a problem with your mental imbalance, which the mental block, which Kalpesh was highlighting. Why Arjun is in the mental block? Because his emotions are material emotions. He's thinking, he's reacting on a material platform. Are you understanding what I'm saying?
Prabhuji, one piece. Oh, go ahead, Kalpesh.
Yeah, yeah.
Randir, you go first. Mine is a little bit of a storytelling.
Prabhuji, this is more hypothetical along the same lines that. So, sir, by that definition, wouldn't a relationship between a husband and a wife be material too?
Of course, 99% it is material. Who says it is spiritual?
That's why everybody gets divorced.
You talk about soulmate, but it is not a soulmate, it's a body mate.
It's not soulmate.
It is a body mate called as soulmate.
Yeah. But on
Incorrect
the
identification of the relationship.
Yeah, but on the other side, Prabhuji, I would say when now we have been doing Bhagavad Gita last 6 months, and in my case at least, I know Bhagavad Gita since childhood. We know about this Krishna consciousness since childhood, not today. And we not only 1,000 people, we have been telling a lot of people, as ISKCON is doing, that you need to have a spiritual path in your life, which we are telling to our wife, to our kids, to the society, and to everyone. Who wants to follow or not is a different story altogether. We'll not get there, but we have been helping people to at least understand this path of the life, which is very important, which anyone has to take, everyone has to take. So I would say on the other side that there is of course material attachment, but helping people on the spiritual path, or at least giving them this small suggestion that this path is there, which is free and which will help you get satisfaction in all aspects, is far bigger help than giving in money or food or anything else, I would say.
Very nice. Very nice.
Very nice.
I was talking to this same aspect to one of my very dear gurus. I said that long time back, around 7, 8 years ago. Similar thing. And he gave me a beautiful answer. He said that, he said the best way to help others is help your own self. I asked him how. He said, when you grow spiritually by your own self, people just look at you and they do. When you say something to someone, people will not follow. But when you follow something, people may follow you. So the best way to preach is to practice spirituality.
And the biggest practical problem I'll give you here, when Kalpesh sent the Saturday invite, right? You'll not believe I sent it to my school friends, last X5 company groups everywhere, and especially these youth. All they came back with all the nonsense words like कौन दारू छोड़ेगा कौन मांस मच्छी छोड़ेगा and will get into this bhakti, this is only for people like Kshitij. All those kind of comments were made, which was fine, no problem there. But there were hardly 3 to 5%, I would say, who joined that group, and some of them are actually going through that session, which only there is only one person, I would say, who called me back and said thanks for giving that link, and
Very
I am
nice.
still attending. But otherwise 99% all are happy with their material
That's okay.
aspects of life.
That's okay. Yeah.
So that's the fact, I would
Yeah.
say.
No, that's okay. Yeah. Yeah. Yes, Rishi.
A quick question on this, Murli.
2.8.
This,
Yeah.
yeah, related to this only. But
Yeah.
what you mentioned about
Emotions.
emotions and
Yes.
being connected. So, and
To
also about
spirit.
the relationship can be transactional.
Yes.
If you develop, if I develop this perspective that I should not connect to the material, it should not be transactional. I should connect to this spiritual. But other people around me are still in that, because 99% relationships are transactional. What can you give me? What can I get from you? How do you deal with that? How do you cope with that?
Okay. So, how do we reciprocate to those people?
Not necessarily reciprocate, but yeah, how do we react? I mean, because I want to still be in my path, but when I'm dealing with others, they are still transactional
Mm.
or still looking at material exchange. What do you do in that case?
So, when we are talking about other people, when other people are materially, completely emotionally connected to material aspects of their life, and you are trying to go to the spiritual side of things, over a period of time, it is such that it is an arrangement, I would say, that um, you would be coming across, and you will have the opportunity to associate with the like-minded people of your own um, process, which is trying to connect to the spiritual side of things. You will have the opportunity to connect with those kind of people. What happens is this. I'll tell you how this nature works in a very synchronized way, in very systematic way. You know, you attract those kind of people, you attract those kind of things, you attract those kind of events which you desire for.
Okay.
So when we talk about people around me, at the moment you may be such that you may have people who are completely material. But once you develop the quality of connecting your emotions to spiritual aspects, over a period of time you will realize that you start seeing the same quality. Where is that quality in others? You will be able to identify the other person also who is trying to reach the same goal as you. You'll be able to identify those kind of people, and it is very very natural to get attracted to those people who are like-minded, and slowly your association will develop with those kind of people. And what will also happen is the people who are material around you, if they see you that you are more happier and more calm and more peaceful, they would try to associate with you, and would try to gain the qualities from you. It's not overnight, but gradually this starts happening. So when we try to practice something, the world around us also starts changing.
But Prabhuji, it takes a lot of time, especially
Yeah, yeah.
if you're trying to
But
be
that is
principled.
but that is not your goal, right? To change the world, is it?
No, your so our job is to basically try to just move along to basically follow our path,
Yeah,
right? But
that's
other
all you have
people
to do.
just, yeah, but other
See,
people find it inconvenient.
that's okay. That is their problem, right? Isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah. How would you think? Is it your problem?
So financially, it can be, you know,
I don't know the
And when you have to pay
nitty-gritties.
bills,
I don't know the nitty-gritties,
sorry,
but paying bills, you have to work,
hmm,
of course. You're not giving up work, are you?
No, but then
I
that is
have to. So in
transactional
some
again.
cases, I had to. Some
Sorry?
contracts I had to walk away from.
Okay. Because they were
Uh,
what? Because of some reasons, right? Not that
yeah,
they
and
were material or spiritual, right? You wouldn't identify a contract with the spiritual material aspects, right?
it was spiritual, sir, because in my line, you can actually go to jail, for signing off on a different document.
Work is work. I mean, if you're knowing the protocol carefully, and the reason why we work is for money. It's purely material. You don't go to
Hmm.
office to connect with emotions, right? Do you? Comment
No,
emotions to
right,
spirituality. You don't, right? So it has
right,
to be
right,
separated.
right,
So at the
No, but
moment, if you see Krishna and Arjun talking, Krishna is not asking to go away from the war. He's asking to fight.
Hmm.
He's asking to
okay,
fight the war and
okay,
kill people. We're talking about big massacre here. So he's not telling him to
right,
go away from the war, but he's telling him where to connect your emotions.
okay.
The idea
That makes a lot of
is,
sense.
how are you from inside? Outside there may be chaos, and inside you may be calm. That's a successful person.
Hmm.
But
Okay,
outside everything is peaceful and inside there is chaos. That means you have some problem. Yeah, your emotions are not connected to the right object. So there is a change of focus here of the emotions. Anyone you see, anyone you meet, any event you perform, anything you have, if your emotion is only connected to the material aspect of that particular object, it will drag you down. Guaranteed. It will drag you down. This is an understanding. How you do it is a whole process. The Bhagavad Gita, there are 18 more chapters which will tell us how to do that. But the understanding is it will definitely drag you down. So when you have emotions out of anger, your breath starts, pumping high.
Hmm.
You lose breath sometimes when you're under stress. Your throat dries up when you're under stress. That's what is happening with Arjun. The reason why, because when we have such, why do we come into that situation? Why do we have stress? Because we may lose money, we may lose our job, we may lose some person. Anything material, highly effective on our senses through the emotions. Okay. So Krishna is asking Arjun later to raise above, come out of the emotions being only connected to the material objects. Okay, so that is 2.8. So we have just done 2.7 and 2.8 today. 2.9 we will do next time, but please read and understand the words. They are all different. They are not the same. Okay, so we'll do 2.9 and we'll try to, I want to hear from you all from 2.9 till 2.14. Okay, and then we'll continue further. All right, so we'll stop here. We'll continue next Sunday. Hare Krishna.
Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna.